Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Hurdle the Line. Today's episode is entitled Hurdle That Heatwave. I'm sure Chapman's going to have a lot of views on what constitutes as a heatwave, as someone who has lived in the States and in the UK for such a long time now. Before we get into that, though, couple of little house rules. I say house rules. If you're watching YouTube, if you go down below to the description, you will find all the relevant links for this episode. You can follow Chapman on social media. You can follow our co-host Meg on social media. You can follow Hurdle the Line. You can follow the AAW Network. And if you are really, 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 really bored, like most of the people are, at this time of the year, missing football, we've got you covered with our Discord. And you can even, in our Discord, get involved with these episodes and have your name read out and your answers read out to our final question at the end of each episode. Without further ado, I'm going to properly actually introduce my two wonderful co-hosts for right now, maybe a third one coming soon. We have returning, got home safely from Manchester last week, as you'll have seen on social media. Chapman, how are you, sir?
Hello, I'm well. How are you, Fletch?
I'm okay, thank you. I am okay. And returning I can't even say you're our new co-host anymore. You've been here for long enough now. Ballers Meg, how are you, Ballers Meg?
I am very well, thank you. Very
I
well.
I
Lovely
think
stuff.
I think she has to be called new until there's another new person. Isn't that the rule?
Right.
Like how that works? So I think I would want to be called new until
Oh, am I going to be the
and that
newbie forever?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could be years. You never know.
Well, then that's the rule. Our new co-host, Ballers Meg.
Newest.
Yeah, newest co-host, Ballers Meg. So, before we get into the main crux of the episode, we're gonna go through every single game week of the NFL this season and pick out our hottest game of each week because it's a heat wave. So we're picking out the hottest games, one game every week that we think, as of right now, you're gonna have to watch. Then at the end, we've got another question related to heat, and we're gonna have our hot takes, right? First, though, a couple of bits of news that I've picked up this week. Fred Smith, former co owner of the Washington Commanders, founder of FedEx, and father of former Atlanta Falcons head coach and current Pittsburgh Steelers offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, passed away this week at the age of 80. I don't know it goes without saying, but our thoughts are with all of his friends and family at a very horrible, horrible time. The Jets owner, Woody Johnson, has purchased a 43% stake in Crystal Palace over the last couple of days. I believe it was in the region of about $300,000, $254 million. So the Premier League and NFL strengthened their ties. And finally, the one other piece of news I've got that's proper NFL related is number two overall pick, Travis Hunter, has signed his rookie deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. But I do believe there's a really interesting fact about it.
Well, there we go. So he actually signed two contracts, one for the offensive side of the ball and one for the defense.
Interesting. That probably does help the commitment that the Jags are going to make to having him play on both sides of the ball, and
Yeah,
that
I
they
would say
will
so.
commit to that.
I
I
just
would
don't
say
understand just does he count against the cap for both ones then? Or does he just what I don't even understand how that works.
I think we're gonna have to get someone in who's a genius. If anyone can help us with this one, I am not extremely proficient in cap space to know. Um, Also, seen, I know Chapman's not the greatest fan of this side of stuff, but Netflix's Quarterback season two will drop on the 8th of July, and I think it's the first proper trailer has been released. Now, I'm very excited just because I get to see Jared Goff up close, and a bit more. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown last year in the receiver documentary, but Chapman, you are a resident of all things film and media.
I mean, I get it. If it's your quarterback that you're excited about and watching last season, like that to me is like specifically interesting to you. But I think the show as a whole is just missing something. It's just like the quarterback and his family. It's like, it doesn't really give me anything more into the team, really. It's just showcasing. I thought particularly the first season was just ultra boring with Patrick Mahomes, even though he won the Super Bowl that year. But it was just like, how much more of Patrick Mahomes and his wife do I need in my life? And the answer is none. I'm all filled up with that. So
Fair
I
enough.
don't know. I think Netflix could do a better job. I just think there's like if you put it on par with some of their other sports documentaries, specifically, the F1 one that like really gives you the drama. It just feels like it's more slice of life. Let's do a commercial for these quarterbacks. But that's just
Yeah.
that's just my view. And that's our TV corner in Huddle the Line.
Yeah, I feel like it would be so cool to put them all in like a Big Brother style house and
Yes, that's more interesting.
have the like put Jason Kelsey in every season, obviously. But get the main characters, the main like put George Kittle in as well, because can we just for George Kittle? Like throw them all into a house, confined space. They've got to do challenges for their food, like the original Big Brother. Like put them in that style. It would be absolute
No,
carnage.
you got to cast it. First of all, I think Kelsey's too big for this. But I would take Kittle. Then you need someone like Stephon Diggs. Then you need somebody like uh you got to get some big mouthy defensive tackle. Then you throw in like a somebody's like Herbert, like a plain Jane in there too.
Oh,
So you
this
gotta
boring.
you gotta get yeah, like you gotta mix the
Kirk Cousins.
personalities. So
Yep.
that's gonna be an episode. Let's save this. This is an episode. If we were gonna
Okay.
cast,
Okay.
yeah, we need to save this. That's an episode right there.
Yeah.
That's yes, yes, yes.
Sorry,
And
ADHD.
and then Meg will come up with the challenges because she already I feel like she's thought about this a lot of
I have thought
making
about this.
Kittle and Kelsey do weird things, which we
Yes.
will talk
Meow
about.
like a cat.
See, good teams win, great teams cover out the only ones who can do unique and interesting TV based episodes. So like yeah, 1-1 Paul.
You're welcome, guys.
The only other two bits of news that have really happened this week is the Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup, and last night, I don't know if either of you, well, I don't think Chapman you would have just with work schedules and that, but Game 7 of the NBA Finals,
Yeah.
OKC Thunder took Game 7. They are the NBA champions. It was a very, very good game up until halftime, and then Thunder just ran away with it, and just horrible what happened to Halliburton.
Yeah, actually have a little bit of inside gossip on that one just before we move on from that. That I have the fortune of working with some medical professionals in the field, and Halliburton has basically RIP to his Achilles. Because I know there's a lot of speculation about it, and prior to it, he'd gone in with suspected Achilles tendonitis, but it does look to be, according to the medical professionals, a full Achilles tear,
I
which no great surprise, but yeah,
no,
they were advised that it so in a normal game, any player has a 0.1 to 0. Sorry, a 0.01 to 0.02 chance of tearing an Achilles. And with playing on Achilles tendonitis, you increase that to zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.2 of a chance. Useless.
I think it's just like terrible because he was obviously one of the stars of the series, and I was really rooting for the Pacers to win just because I like an underdog, and they were a massive underdog. So for them to take, you know, Oklahoma City, which is probably going to be, if you look back, this is just a great season for them to win the championship. That's pretty amazing that they went blow to blow with them. So disappointing into the season, obviously for the Pacers, but
They're still
OKC,
early, quite high up on the favourites list for next season. You know, the
yeah.
Pacers, despite Halliburton's injury, so
Yeah.
still fifth favourite team.
Well, that's to show you that the East is just completely wide open still. You're gonna have Boston still won't have Tatum. There's a lot of moving parts. So,
yeah,
but
we're not here to
that's it.
talk NBA much. Although, like I say, it was a good game, very nice to watch. My watched it with my brother as well for the first 3 quarters. Someone stupidly let that nearly 15-year-old stay up till 3 in the morning. I was in charge of him. It was me. But it's the NBA. It's Game 7. Got to do it. So heading into like the main chunk of the episode, we're gonna look at the hottest games of each and every week of the NFL season. Maybe Chapman, obviously you were here for us last season and you took on the review show of the games that happened over the weekend as I was over on the preview show. We tried to come up with a game each week. And as the season progresses, we'll probably find out that teams we think are going to be really hot right now are going to be horrible by week 7 and have nothing to play for. And there's going to be all sorts of things that are going to change. But from the best of our knowledge, we'll try and put a game to watch each week, the hottest game of the week. And we'll start with week 1 of the NFL season.
Can I make one? Can I make one suggestion?
Yes.
Meg, do you have the schedule up for yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Should we do like you do week 1, Meg does week 2, I do week 3, then you do, and then we like nominate one instead of all three of us saying one?
Okay.
Now, are you going to do it a different way?
Well, I was just planning on throwing out the week. There are a couple of weeks here right now, so I thought week 1's an obvious one.
Right.
But we can have a suggestion and then maybe, well, we can have someone say one and then we can throw in. If you
Sure.
want to challenge such perspective,
Sure.
then that is free to do. You are free to do so. So, Meg, would you like to take us away for week 1, please?
Yeah, I think the fairly obvious one that I'll have an eye on is the Jets and the Steelers.
See, this is I immediately want to push back and say Dolphins, Colts.
Yeah. But
Dolphins,
I'd like to
Colts.
hear your reasoning.
So, first of all, I don't know if anyone else has heard my favourite guy, Aaron Rodgers, this week on a 25-minute diatribe about how bad the Jets running game is. But, he went on about it, and basically he's facing the Jets week 1 at this as the new Steelers QB1, and the Jets have made no secret that they are putting their pretty much whole focus on their running game. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes up against their new refreshed running game, I guess, at quarterback, because it could keep him off the field for a lot of the game if they do decide to run the ball more.
Yeah. Um, the storyline there is impeccable, and I'm all for that storyline. However, the one little bit of pushback I'm going to put on this is Sunday Night Football, Bills Ravens, the last two
Yep.
MVPs going at
That was
it,
mine.
to potentially the AFC Championship, depending on how the Chiefs do this year and how a couple other factors in. That could be for me. I'm going to push and say that would be my game of the week.
That would be mine too.
We've also got the Cowboys against the Eagles as well, which is always an interesting one.
Yeah. And but there are a few interesting matchups. Like for example, the Falcons Bucks, I think could be very interesting on the basis of
Agree.
that's going to play a lot into where the NFC South goes this year.
Going to set the tone.
Yes. But other than that, nothing really. Lions,
No,
Packers,
it's a good slate of
maybe.
games, but I mean it's Ravens Bills right off the bat.
Yeah.
You could even say Chiefs Chargers in Brazil will be interesting, but it's a Friday night game.
Mhm.
But it's a decent first week. I agree with the Bucks Falcons game will be a good one. And I agree. Seeing Aaron Rodgers go play the Jets, but I mean, man, he was barely a Jet. Who cares?
True.
And he's barely a Steeler at this point. So, um, Vikings Bears could be interesting. I think every NFC North matchup this year will be really fun. We got another one the week after too. So I think those are games I'm definitely going to be paying attention to because I still think it's going to be a great division this year. So,
Oh, there
and
we
just in time
go.
for week 2.
Just in time for week 2. So
My apologies for being late.
that's absolutely fine. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Craft is back. How are you, sir? Got to
I'm
ask how
good, thank you. Yeah,
lovely stuff.
all the better
Lovely.
for
Well,
seeing your face, Fletch.
I'm going to jump right in on week 2 because there's only one obvious answer to this week, and it's the rematch of Super Bowl 50, whatever we just had, and that's the Chiefs.
59, wasn't it?
I can't tell if this is Chiefs or
Yes.
I guess Eagles at Chiefs. Or is
Oh,
it
It
Chiefs?
is. It's at.
it
It's
is
at
the
the
Eagles
Chiefs.
at the Chiefs.
Okay, sorry, because I can't tell if this has done that stupid thing that you guys do in the UK where you flip the names. So it would be the Philadelphia Eagles heading to Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs. Revenge game for Mahomes. Uh, I'm very excited to see this game, and hopefully it's not a repeat of the Super Bowl that we saw last year where the game was over at halftime.
It won't be.
Who's everyone predicting for that one?
Don't care.
Tom, I know who you're going to say.
Yeah, well, obviously. It's gonna
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
We're going through this. Tom, get the season up. Do you need a link?
I'm just trying to get one. Yeah.
Here, I'll send it to you in the chat so you can join
Cheers.
us. Everybody nominates one. You can get week 4. Fletch, you're week 3.
Right.
Meg, you got anything else in week 2 you like?
Where was I just looking a second ago? Oh, Packers Washington. I think
I
it'll be
like
a
that
good
game
one.
too. That'll be a good
Be
one
a
as
good one.
well. Thursday night football.
Yep. Which I think is going to be maybe a bit like last season where we have early, quite decent games on a Thursday night and then it just goes to crap.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the Cousins Bowl, where Cousins probably won't be playing this year anyway. So, Falcons Vikings. No, we're not throwing that one in there.
They crushed us last year.
If you there's a couple of to follow another storyline like that one, Ben Johnson back at the Lions.
Yep.
That was the other game I was looking at too.
That's gonna be a very fun one because I want to see who tries to flex hardest on the other one. I feel like Campbell's gonna want to flex on Ben Johnson just to kind of go, listen, I was your head coach. Johnson's probably gonna want to flex on Dan Campbell, like, listen, I made your offense. I I get this weird feeling that it's just gonna be a standoff of two guys going at each other, going, I've got bigger balls than you. But it has to be Eagles Chiefs as the best game of that week.
No, it's the hottest game of that week.
The hottest game of that week. Absolutely.
Let's get back on our game, guys.
Okay, so week 3, there are a couple of exciting games, but call me a homer. I don't care. It's two of the hottest offenses from the last year, the Lions and the Ravens on Monday Night Football.
Actually, that's a good one. But what about
I concur.
what about Rams Eagles? That was a good game in the playoffs. I mean, obviously, you doubt there'll be snow this time, but
I don't know. There's nothing fun about watching that Eagles team, just to be really honest with you. And I know I'm such a Philly hater and sorry to our Eagle fans friends, but like I mean, the defense is fun to watch because it's great, but there's just, I don't know. I guess Saquon. I guess I'm lying. I do like watching Saquon. All right, I'm lying now. But there's just something. Go ahead, Meg. Sorry.
I think the Broncos Bengals game that week could be quite hot as well, to be fair.
That could be hot.
Yeah,
well, I mean, the Bengals have no defense, so
and
the Broncos do.
they're always the worst in the first four the 6 games of the season.
wait, 1 second. We talk about week 3 this year.
Yeah.
Broncos, Chargers, and Bengals, Vikings.
Oh, I'm looking at week 4. Never mind.
Oh, save that hotness.
So, I mean, I'm happy to switch up from Lions Ravens as the hottest game of that week.
No, I think
No,
Lions Ravens
I think it's the
I
hottest
think it's a
game.
good one.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I just
Tom,
wanted to give an honorable mention. That was all it was. But week
That's fine.
4, I mean, not to be a homer, but I feel like it's Ravens Chiefs. Like, I mean, like,
Are we all just picking the Ravens every week? Is that what's happening here?
because there's
Yes.
a lot of not great games on paper here. I think the worst game I can see is
Panthers,
Patriots.
Patriots, yeah.
I was going to say
Yeah.
Cowboys Jets, but you know.
No, it's Packers Cowboys that week on Sunday Night Football,
Am
which
I
is like
looking at the wrong
yeah,
one?
yeah,
which
which
2024.
week 4. Yeah, you
no,
can't.
I'm looking at 2025. I've got it. Look, it's all. Oh, you can't see it, but it's all written here in like my predictions.
Oh, right, okay.
book.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I wrote every game out by hand. Wait, I'm going to just get a bookmark so that I can actually keep track of what week we're on.
Well, I would like to say this can't be considered the hottest game of this week, but if you remember in week 17, Michael Penix started his second game on the road in Washington, and it was a dueling fight with Jaden Daniels. That was an awesome game, and
That was a good game of football.
we were one missed field goal away from beating Washington at home. I think that'll be another really good game.
Hmm.
Hopefully,
Yeah, I think
nice
that's a good one.
little rematch from quarterbacks from
Yeah.
the same draft class.
Um,
But
I'm going to put a little bit of pushback on one thing that someone said about one of the games this week. Now, if you ever listened to the preview show of Hurdle the Line, which I know none of you guys actually did, there was a segment that I like to call games that are good for the wrong reasons. So it's normally two basement teams or two teams that aren't necessarily great, but for some reason they just match up well and the game plays out in this weird, exciting little way. And given what we think could be of the Panthers, and if Mike Vrabel turns the Patriots up a little bit, Drake May turns up a little bit more for season two, that could be a fun game. And if not, it'll be good, but for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
Obviously not the hottest, but good for
it
the
makes
wrong.
sense what you're saying,
what
but
is the coldest hot game
yeah.
Yeah,
of the whole year? Is Patriots Pats. We'll give that award, Carl, and other Pats fans. That's for you guys. There you go.
Yeah, literally.
yes. So, but I think what we have to, it's agree with you there, Tom. It's Chiefs Ravens for sure is the hottest game of the week. Meg, do you want to take us on to week number 5? Bye
Um,
weeks are starting to creep in now.
yeah. I'm not really that excited about any of the games this week, to be fair. I'm just having a look. Mm, I'm interested to
Uh,
see what the Seahawks do this season, in fairness. I am pretty interested because I feel like they picked up, but then just got rid of everyone that could possibly help them. Um, we're in week 5, right? Just checking.
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Then I'm going for. Give me the Colts and the Raiders.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Hey, I've got a feeling about the Raiders this year. We're not on hot takes yet. Just saying.
Do
That
you
would
think
go down as
who
one.
will be the Colts quarterback by week 5? That's what I want to
Oh,
know.
nobody knows that. Come on. I'm not a psychic.
It's gonna be like they're gonna sound like Jared Stidham or something, and he's gonna start ahead of both those
Happily
guys together.
trade. We have a wonderful backup quarterback in Atlanta. We will happily give them.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally pay us 40 million. In fact, don't even pay us 40 million. We'll pay you
No,
40 million. Just take it.
no, but we just need a draft pick. That's it.
Yeah.
Can I nominate a game? I am excited to see. If I say 15 more times, I think you said the Seahawks, and I went to Bucks Seahawks. I was like, oh, that could be a decent game. But I think the best game on this slate is the Commanders at the Los Angeles Chargers,
I
That's a
agree.
good shout.
which I'm excited to see. I think Herbert really has a proven year coming in this year. And also Jaden Daniels, can he, continue his momentum? I have a hot take about him this year at the end of the show. And I think this could be a really good game. I also will say this, Mike Vrabel as a coach makes me a little bit more interested to watch Patriots Bills. I don't think I can make it the hottest game,
No.
but I think I would want to tune in to the Pats playing the cream of their division in the Bills and see
Plus, the
that.
Patriots beat the Bills last year, didn't they? Towards the end of the season. I swear, even though they weren't good, like they still beat them.
Did they?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember that, but there you go.
Um, I want to throw in the coldest game of the week. And that's Giants Saints. Got to
Oh,
be.
God. This is
It's
going to be like
got
a,
to be.
a 9-7
Yeah,
score line.
this could be like that Vikings game for a few years ago, Fletch. Do you know it was like 3-0 in like midway through the fourth quarter?
That was against the Bears, wasn't it? Was it against the Bears? It ended 6.
Yeah, I think it was. It was Vikings Bears, and it was like 3-0, and there was like 7 minutes after the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Oh, mate. But that's got to be the coldest game of the week. And the one that, like, that's the kind of game that right at the end, there's a period where most games are on half time. And that game is so bad. You're now in the second half. It appears on Red Zone and you go, oh, yeah, they're playing this week.
Mm,
Oh, yeah, you're on right now. Um, but yeah, so I'm happy to take Commanders Chargers as the hottest game of the week.
Mm, good shout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so week 6, Chapman.
Hmm. Well, I mean, the obvious hottest game is Sunday Night Football, which is Lions
Yes, it is.
Chiefs,
Hmm.
which is a good one. But I'm just gonna have a quick little troll. We forgot to mention also the London games start in week 5, and
Oh
there's the
yes,
second
yes.
London game in this week, which is Broncos Jets. That is not the hottest game.
No.
Uh, I am going to pick a game which I know Meg will agree with me. The hottest game of this week is Bills Falcons in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Monday Night Football. I gotta
Oh
go.
yeah.
What's gonna happen is Penix is gonna come in. He's gonna go 3-1, and he's gonna go against the big dog, Josh Allen, in his own house. It's the first time I think the Bills will have come down to Mercedes-Benz. I think we went up there the last time, so this will be their visiting. Big Monday night game for the Falcons. It's a statement win for the Falcons. They've got to win this game coming off a bye. Let's go. We all know that Meg agrees. And then we
Yeah.
can go back to saying the Lions Chiefs for the actual hottest game.
No, we're winning it. It's fine.
I'm
Um,
really looking forward to the Lions Chiefs because I know that me and Tom will do almost no trash talk at each other before the game. And throughout the game, I'll be texting Tom saying that was a really good play by the Chiefs. And Tom will be texting me saying, no, 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 that was a great play by the Lions. And it'll be so horribly respectful all night.
It
Um,
actually will be, and it was when we played each other on opening night. I remember I was
yeah,
because that was Jameer Gibbs' rookie year as well, and I was like, "Damn, this guy is so good."
yeah, yeah.
And Fletch is like, "Yeah," yeah. And that was like, what was that like 4 in the morning?
Yeah. So if you want to find the most gentlemanly rivalry across the Hill Network, it's going to be the Chiefs and Lions because me and Tom are very lovely to each other throughout the
and
game.
we'll have them both on the review show on Monday afterwards, win or
Yes.
lose. Actually, that's
Yes.
not true. If the Lions lose, Fetch, you're not on.
No, no, no. If the Lions
I was
win,
going to
that's
say
when you
if the
don't
Lions
want me
Well,
on.
win.
that's actually true. If the
You
Lions
don't
win,
want me
then
on.
you're also not
Mm.
on. We'll give
I'll,
you 5 minutes at the end, which will
Yeah.
I'll be
Loser gets
nice.
airtime.
I will say I'll be nice and quiet if we lose. If we win, I'm coming on and I'm throwing all sorts at
No
Tom. But yes,
gentlemanly manner in sight.
I think we're gonna have to agree that that is if the correct Lions come out this season and the correct Chiefs come out this season, that has to be game of the week, hottest game of the week, even. But I actually, Bills Falcons is gonna be a fun one, a very, very fun
Definitely.
one, and no one's mentioned
There's a few
that
fun ones that week as
the
well, too.
Bears Commanders, the
Mm.
Mm.
return of the Hail Mary. That's gonna be a very, very tasty one with a double header Monday Night Football.
Mm. Yeah.
So.
Nice.
With our watching why can I not remember her name? Our girl on Channel 5.
Oh, what's her name? Oh my God. The one that
Bridget,
can't
Bridget,
Bridget,
Bridget.
she can't work out if
Yes.
Valentine's Day is on a different day of the week in America.
Yes. Channel 5 offering up only the hottest of coverage in the United Kingdom. Now on to week 7. This is my week. The hottest game of the week for me will have to be this is not a Eagles Vikings.
Mm.
Last year, both 14 and 3 teams from last year. I'm really, really interested to see how JJ McCarthy comes out. The Eagles are obviously not going to really slow down much. It could be both fantastic defenses. I think it's going to be just an excellent game all around.
And
The
in the
Eagles
trenches kind of
always beat
games.
the Vikings, though.
But it'll be close. It'll be
I think it's an in the
close.
trenches game, isn't it? Because they are both strong defensively. So
If anyone wants to push back on this one, I'm more than happy for.
I'll push back. Uh, just because you can't pick your team again, Fletch.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Bucks Lions because that was a really good game last year as well. And it was the game where I think the Bucks won that game as well, right?
Yes.
Didn't
Yes,
they?
they did. Yes.
Yeah, because wasn't it in Tampa?
Oh, wait, no. Last season they didn't beat us. It was the season before that they beat us.
Oh yeah.
Um,
But it's
but
always a really good matchup between the Bucks and the Lions.
Yeah.
yeah, because that was a season they beat us in the regular season. We beat them in the playoffs.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
but it's always very close, very tough fought game. So yeah, I just didn't want to be branded a
And you
hooner
got
again.
Jameer Gibbs and Bucky Irvin on either side,
Yes.
so it's what you like to see.
Okay, so are we taking Eagles, Vikings, or Bucks, Lions for the hottest game of the week in week 7?
I think
Eagles,
it's Eagles
Vikings.
Vikings.
Eagles, Vikings. That's
Yeah.
lovely. How do I feel like I both won and lost that one at the same time? Week number 8, Tom, will you take us away on this one, please?
Yeah. There's a lot of not great games this week, to be honest. To pick one, I quite like the well, I mean, well, I'm not going to pick the homer pick because I could do that. But I quite like the 49ers at the Texans. I think that could be quite a good game. Obviously the 49ers had a down year last year, but they're looking to bounce back. I reckon they will be back to somewhat of their best. And interested to see what the Texans do. I don't really know what they're going to have as an offensive line. But I think that could be quite an interesting game to see if CJ Stroud is back. If it was just a sophomore slump and see where he gets back to the level of the rookie year that he had
Yeah.
against Brock Purdy. So I think that could be a good one.
And you're talking like this is 26th of October now, so they should be firing on all cylinders,
Yeah,
all systems go by this point.
exactly.
Um, does anybody have any pushback? I will push back and I will return. See, such a gentlemanly sport that me and Tom play on these podcasts. I'm going to say the Chiefs and Commanders is my game of the week.
I think there's a juicy one that we're overlooking here.
Which one? Vikings Chargers.
No, it's Packers Steelers.
Mm.
Aaron
Oh,
Rodgers
Yes.
and Aaron
returns.
Rodgers
No, he
stayed.
doesn't. He doesn't actually go to Lambeau. They come to what is it? It's not Heinz anymore. It's something else. Whatever it is now.
It's yeah. Is it
Some awful bet.
Acrisure?
I mean,
Is it
whatever
Acrisure
awful
Stadium? Yeah,
insurance or finance company pay. I mean,
yeah.
if I ever owned a football team, even if it was just an extra 50 million, which I'm sure I would take, I would at least get a cool sponsor. Like, come on.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah, I think that's interesting because I think this is going to be it for old Rogers. So it'll be interesting, and I think he will show up to play the Packers.
No,
That's a
that is the
very, very good
storyline of
point.
that is definitely very hot.
I'm more interested in that than watching him play the Jets because, again, who cares about him on the Jets? They did nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, by that week he'll have a Zimmer frame ready to come out onto the field. So
Yeah.
Uh,
I was gonna say that's we're making the NFL will make sure that that matchup happens. After that week, Will Howard can step in and Rogers can go off to whatever cave he's gonna go in and take whatever he wants. But that's a matchup that's definitely gonna happen. I think that's a very fair point, Chapman. Very much overlooked, and I would like to second that.
Mhm.
There we go.
Okay, so Packers Steelers. I'm also gonna throw in one more. Good for all the wrong reasons. Browns Patriots.
Yep, all the wrong
Yep.
reasons.
All the wrong reasons. Every single wrong reason. Yeah. Okay, so we're right at the halfway point here. Week 9. Meg, take us away, please.
I think the only one that we can really go to is the Bills Chiefs game, to be fair.
which I will be attending.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
nice.
Yeah, in Buffalo. So that'll be a fun one.
That will
That's
be
cool.
cold.
Very cold.
2nd of November. It won't like it could be worse. It could be a
Yeah.
lot worse.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
No, I don't think there's gonna be much pushback on that one. At all.
No.
No. Um,
The only other one that's worth a mention is Vikings Lions, but yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah.
I'd like to nominate a ice cold, the hottest ice cold potentially could be Jags and Raiders. But
Mm.
that could also be two sleeper teams that are great, and I could be eating my words. So
Yeah.
Or they could be so bad they cancel out each other's badness, which kind of makes the game good, and then it's good for all of the wrong reasons.
right,
Um,
there you go.
so
Cardinals Cowboys could be that as well, to be fair.
Yeah, but the Cowboys aren't bad, and Cardinals are like they're just mediocre. Like
They're just
whereas
like
like
middling, aren't they? Yeah.
yeah,
I
like
forget
it's
they exist. Every time somebody says Cardinals, I'm like, oh yeah, they're a team.
it's Jonathan Gannon. He's just other than that really weird speech he's done, he's so forgettable. Um, week 10, Chapman, do you want to run away with this one, please?
sure. Weirdly enough, I'm having a hard time with this one. Um, there's two that kind of stick out. And they're in the afternoon, but I think I'm gonna have to go because we haven't mentioned these two teams, and I think this potentially could be a good one. I think you guys are gonna disagree a little bit because of one of the teams, but Rams Niners,
Oh
McVay
yeah,
versus
100%.
Yep.
McVay versus Shanahan. We e- all football's talking about how the 49ers have an easier schedule this year. There's no way the injury bug can bite them bad. McVay has somehow, he's starting his Mike Tomlin run where he can just basically put out a borderline playoff team no matter. And this might could be one of the last years with Stafford again. And there's no reason why they shouldn't be still good after last season. So I think this could be a really interesting matchup. And yeah, two NFC West teams, two of the better head coaches in the league, and yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, they
Purdy
they tend
versus
to
Stafford.
yeah, they
But
tend to play each other very
very well.
close as well.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah,
tends to be a really good game. The only other game that just for the storyline of what happened in the playoffs, Lions at Washington
yeah. That
Yeah.
was the other
is
one.
one that is like because Lions are gonna have a bit of taste in their mouth from the
Revenge
playoffs
tour.
revenge.
What
From
do you mean nobody's looking forward to the Panther Saints game?
well, can we not have the Tush Push Bowl
Yeah,
on
12.
Monday
Yeah,
Night
that's another
Football?
one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And I can guarantee you every single 4th and 1 that the Eagles
The
get,
Eagles are
they will
gonna
tush
run the tush
push
push, yeah.
every time just to make a point of it. That storyline's gonna be hilarious. You know that both the Eagles' social media team will probably be all over it that week, and so will social media. That one, it'll hopefully be a good game, but also I think social media will potentially be very much on fire that week for it. And can we please? And I don't want to talk about that playoff game, so that one's not allowed. So Rams 49 as it is.
Yeah, Rams 49ers.
There
Yeah,
we go.
thank you very much. In week 11, this one, yeah, my week again. So we have, I mean, take the homer pick and give what should have been the NFC Championship game last season. Um, there are not too many standout games this week, but Seahawks Rams always kind of pulls out a bit of a funky one as well. Um, Ravens Browns again. The upset that the Browns pulled last year, they just hit away at the Ravens. It's weird the way
Mm.
those games tend to happen. Um, and that Bucks Bills game looks a bit tasty.
yeah.
I can't pick a single hottest game of the week.
Well, I
I
mean, you've
think
mentioned almost five of them, so you might as well go ahead and just
just go
keep.
for all of them, to be fair.
By the way, Tom, that's my new thing with Fletch is I just just razz him all pod to see if I could see he's quiet now, so I got him.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I think the Bills Bucks game is going to be a good one.
Mm,
I do. I
I
think
agree.
uh, you know, let's see if Baker Mayfield's still got some gas in the tank. I think he does. I think he does.
Still got some. He threw 39 touchdowns last season. He's got plenty of cash in the
Yeah, yeah, but he's getting old, okay? Just let me have my moment where I dream that like Baker Mayfield comes on this season and he's just shit. And then we actually win the division, okay? Can we just like give me like 5 milliseconds of
of
hope?
hope. Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
No.
Appreciate it.
Chapman was mean to me now, so fuck the
Oh
Falcons.
no, that's not mean. You haven't
Hey,
seen
don't
mean.
don't put us in the same category here, Fletch. I was very nice
Um,
one day in my life.
I'm gonna say that the one I am nominating for this week will be Ravens Browns because it will pull out something crazy.
Mm,
Hmm.
I've just got that weird feeling. It always happens in Browns Ravens games.
always happens.
Something happens.
The Ravens are always favored, and then something mad happens. Like it's.
The the Ravens will go into it like an 18-point favorite, and the Browns will take them to like a game-winning, buzzer-beating field goal type thing.
Mm.
So, um, is everybody okay with that? Again, I'm happy to go with consensus. That's just the one I'm throwing out there as my hottest game of the week.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
I agree.
Yeah.
Precedent seems to dictate that. So yeah, I would
Okay.
agree.
Tom, do you want to take us away for week 12, please?
Yes. Let's have a look. There's not a lot of great games. Vikings Packers could be a good one. Because just they played each other pretty tough through the season last season.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, there's a lot of like not great games. Also, Eagles Cowboys depends how good the Cowboys are, but that's always a good rivalry game. Um, Although it has tended recently that like one team's blowing the other out,
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. So out of the games that are there, I would probably go Vikings Packers.
That's fair. I'm happy to go with that one. Agree with you there.
Not the
Yeah.
greatest slate for week 12.
Hmm.
No.
I
And
mean, the
just
Monday night game is the Panthers and at the 49ers. That's just the weirdest game you could think of. So, Falcons
I
Saints as honorable mention, just because weird shit always happens in those games.
Mm,
So,
Mm.
true.
it's
Yeah.
part of my language, mom. Yeah. So, yeah, just from honestly, they're always entertaining. So I can't not throw
Yeah,
it out
I
I
was
there.
mean
going to throw that one in.
Browns Raiders is eating an ice cream in Antarctica.
And you're back, Fletch. You are back in my heart.
Um, that has to be. I can't see another coldest game of the week there.
No, I think that definitely takes the cake.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So week 13, Meg, we're back over to you.
Uh, I mean, if you're not watching the Jags Titans, what are you doing with your life? Let's be honest. Um,
Happiness.
you are finding joy. Uh, I think the Seahawks Vikings could be an interesting one actually that week. Um, I think Commanders Broncos might be an interesting matchup that week as well, to be fair.
Do you know what? That's a shout. That is a really good shout. I'm very happy to run with you on that one.
Mm.
Are we counting the Thanksgiving games or?
Yeah, they're part of that week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those are way red hotter than the.
I don't have the days, by the way, in front of me. I've just got the matchups for the week, so I can't see uh, and they're all coloured and it's all neon because of the lights in this
It's
place.
on, well, it's on Thanksgiving. You got the Packers at Lions, Chiefs at Cowboys, Bengals at Ravens.
Eh,
Bengals Ravens is a really, really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a really
But
good matchup.
but because it's on Thanksgiving, something weird will happen. It'll be a terrible game. We
Mm.
only can get one good game on Thanksgiving. I have promised it.
Which of those three is going to be the one then, Chapman?
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna stick with my NFC North fun things. I think Packers Lions will be a tasty one. There's a I just think I don't know. Dallas on Thanksgiving seems to always disappoint.
Yeah.
Bengals Ravens obviously is like the more of the like let's do it, but it's the late they have it on so late. I don't
Mm.
know. We'll see. But like remember last year it was like the late game. I think it was the late game. It was just horrible.
Um, I want to say, well, if you remember back to last year's Thanksgiving game, the Lions played the Bears, and that's when we had the timeout fiasco with
Oh
Caleb
yeah.
Williams, and then the
Oh
next
yeah.
day. I don't quite think Matt LaFleur's going to let anything like that happen in a game, so we may not get an ending like that again. It's not going to be that disastrous. So, I reckon that'll be a fun one. It'll be a tough one, but not as good as Bengals Ravens for the Thanksgiving games. So, I mean, I'm happy to run with Bengals Ravens, but genuinely, I'm very happy to run with Broncos Commanders, and it's going to be a very exciting game.
Well, it was
Mm.
Mac's pick, so we need to go with that.
Yeah. Okay. Chapman, week 14 is yours, sir.
Bengals Bills. Burrow going up to it's not Orchard Park. What is it? It's
It
whatever it is
is.
up in oh, it is
I think,
Orchard Park.
I
Yeah,
think it is
yeah.
Ultra Park, yeah.
It'll be early December, so there's gonna be a chance there'll be some snow. Depending on how the Bengals season goes, this could be, they could still already be on that part of the season where they have to win every game. Buffalo should be another, you know, Super Bowl or bust season for them. Two of the best quarterbacks in the league going up against each other in December. Outdoors doesn't get much better than that.
Absolutely.
Cannot argue with that.
Can we get, yeah, absolutely fine with that one. So
There's a
week,
couple interesting matchups over, but that's the one I think.
can we throw in Titans Browns as the coldest game of the week?
Yeah.
Yes.
Polar
What,
Bear's best
Dolphins
friend.
Jets?
Dolphins, ooh. It can't be because the Dolphins can't perform in the cold.
Oh, true,
Right.
very true.
Do
Yeah.
it, please.
But doesn't that make it colder?
Actually, do you know what? That's actually a very fair point.
That's
Where
why I'm here.
are Dolphins at home or on the road? Oh, they're on the road in December in New Jersey.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Interesting, and it's an outdoor stadium as well. Right, so that's the one that the Polar Bears are watching. Week 15. This is my week. Can I say I'm going to go with Falcons Bucks? Oh, no, Falcons Bucks. I think that's a very. Oh, again, look to the last couple
Wait,
of seasons. It's always produced a very fun game. I said that one already as well, though, for another week, haven't I?
you
Mm-hmm.
said it for the first week.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Wow.
But if the season goes the way we all expect, well, I say
Yeah.
expect it to, we
We're going to
kind
be
of think it's
frightened to
going
that
to
point.
go. That may be the NFC South decider.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, there and then. And Lions Rams always throws in a really, really good game as well. So, but I'm not a homer, and I never really have been. So it's going to be Falcons Bucks.
Nice.
Let's go.
Yep. Okay. So week 60. Do anyone want to throw by the way coldest game of the week? Anyone got an idea
Jets
for coldest?
Jaguars, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
I mean,
We,
Panther Saints could be, but I think the Panthers will probably be watchable this year.
I do as well. Agree on that one.
Tom, do you want to take us away for week 16, please?
Yes. Oh, Eagles Commanders could be a good game. That is definitely one that is jumping straight off the bat. Um, other than that, yeah, I think that's the one, to be honest.
Yeah. This isn't the
Yeah.
greatest slate, is it?
Again, it's not the best, like, so yeah, yeah. I think that's the one that sticks out amongst them all. Uh Although the Rams Seahawks could be a half decent shout as well, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think the
Oh,
obvious pick is the Eagles Commanders.
that was where I was looking else. If I was going to look elsewhere,
Mm.
that's where I was looking. Um, yeah, are we all happy with that one?
Yep.
Coldest game
Yep.
of the week, anyone?
Jets
Which ones are
Saints.
the Eskimos? Jet
Ooh,
seats. Yeah, that's the Eskimo pick.
we'll all be Jets fans that week.
S-
Yes, we will.
All.
Well, so in Meg and I's houses we will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, not allowed in this house that week. Um, week 17, Meg, we're back over to you.
Oh, I just had one and I've lost it already. Oh, I think the Eagles-Bills game.
That was a great game. Was it a couple of years ago?
Yeah,
It wasn't
Yeah.
last season, was it? It's the season before where I went to overtime and then Joe Nurse ran it in to win it.
I can't remember off the top of my head. Um,
Do you remember that one, Chapman?
I remember. So I remember the game. I can't remember who it
Vaguely.
was.
It's honestly, Tom, I last week is a blur. This is also
This
the week of Christmas games too, right?
this
Yes.
is the
Yeah.
problem I have that I just remember all this stupid stuff that I'm not supposed to, and then the things I'm
Yeah.
supposed to remember, I don't.
Yeah.
So.
Um, and there's 5 games that will be flexed, which is interesting.
Yep.
So,
Mm.
um,
Um. Yeah, I'm with you here, Tom. Sorry, Meg. Even sorry.
We look alike, it's fine.
I know. Yeah, I can't tell the difference.
I'd like to say the honorable mention. I'm actually very interested to watch Broncos Chiefs,
Mm.
and I might be putting a little wager on the Broncos for the
I
division
mean,
this year.
it's not
It
gonna.
might be just because of the odds, not because I particularly. It's just good odds.
But I mean, it's never like the Broncos just shut out the Chiefs last year. It's not even gonna be a contest. Like, it's boring.
I think
I
Colts
think
game
the
that
Chiefs
week,
will remember that.
Giants Raiders could be an
I mean,
interesting
we
one
weren't
for the
playing any
division.
starters, so
Okay.
it doesn't really.
Carson Wentz revenge tour. Nobody's scared. Um, but Eagles Bills. I think as a whole, though, are we happy to roll with that Eagles Bills?
Oh yeah, 100%. And the
Yeah.
coldest game, probably.
Giants Raiders, maybe?
I was
Or
thinking
the
Well,
Jags
Jags
Colts.
Colts, yeah.
I'm just gonna say I'll go Eagles Bills just because those are marquee things. But there's 3 division games, and this is the second to the last week of football. Dallas, obviously Cowboys at the
Yeah.
Commanders on Christmas Day, then the Lions at the Vikings on Christmas Day, and again the Broncos and the Chiefs. So I kind of feel like they were real smart with that Christmas Day schedule. That's
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. Um,
so, but also screw them for putting 3 games on Christmas because we don't need that. I'm sorry, but
I
that's
yeah.
do.
just
I need that.
I will watch them, but at the same time,
it's
yeah.
just it's one thing I don't think we should be doing. And we can use that for the why the NFL is an asshole podcast. It's some other
Yeah.
like
Um,
the Shield, not the actual product.
yeah. Um, Finally, week 18, Chapman, the penultimate week of the regular season. Which one you going for?
I mean, there's only one game on there that I could not pick. Can't not pick, but I won't pick that game. Man, this is hard because some of these teams will be wrapped up, some of them won't. But I'm gonna go for one of these division games, and I think I'm gonna go Packers, Vikings with an honorable mention, Commanders, Eagles, and another honorable mention, Ravens, Steelers. So I'm pulling a Fletch there. This is for all the marbles. So I picked the NFC North because there's just a theme there for me this year. This could be for first place, could be for second, third, could be for a wild card spot. You never know. Then also Commanders, Eagles, I think will just be really entertaining. I think those teams are going to really hate each other for a long time. And then lastly, Ravens, Steelers,
Yeah.
know, enough said. Which one do you guys think is more interesting of those 3?
Mm.
Probably Packers Vikings.
Yeah.
I feel like that
But
will have
you're
the
right,
most.
the AFC North is always something happens. Like in that game, even though obviously the Ravens smashed the Steelers in the playoffs, but when it comes to them playing each other, it's usually a dogfight.
I,
Absolutely.
I'm looking at Commanders Eagles here as the one that could potentially, like, this could be. We know we know the rule of the NFC East. You can't win the division 2 years on the bounce. If the Commanders are what we think they're going to be, the Eagles, again, they're not going to take exactly hugely regress, but could that be the game for the division and the play and the home playoff tie? Bit more riding on it.
The Eagles got rid of some decent defense as well. Like, we can't forget the fact that we're not seeing the same teams coming out as last season. And for good or for better or for worse.
Oh yeah,
The Eagles defense, I'm not saying is going to be like terrible, but also you know, there's a
they've lost
couple
some
missing
pieces,
components.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just hoping that the guys that they brought in the draft can step up in their place.
I'm looking at Broncos Chargers. I think that could have a playoff spot on the line.
Mm,
Mm.
that could be a good one.
Okay, like, obviously, like we say, week 18 is all about, well, who's got what riding on it,
I know.
and
Well, that's it. When
which one
when
of
you've got
those.
someone that's already, sewed up a playoff spot.
But I think
Yeah,
that's goes back to my Packers Vikings because
Mm,
okay,
yeah,
like Lions, Vikings, Packers, what order? Lions are playing the Bears, which still the little brother. You never know. The Bears could have a Cinderella season this with Ben Jot. There's just a lot in there, so I'm just interested. I just think the quality of those teams it has proven over the last few years they're going to be in the mix. That's why I think that
Yeah.
those two games, you know what I mean. Whereas there's a chance the Commanders were a Cinderella last year and might come back down to earth a little bit because their defense isn't that great. I, the Steelers could implode this year finally. There's a lot of, if it's there's like you said, Meg, there's always a couple teams, but I just think the Packers and the Vikings will be in some sort of mix there.
I'll
yeah,
tell you the coldest game of this week, though, surely without question, Titans Jags.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think there's a reason that game is played that week. So 1 o'clock, get it done. See ya.
Neither of the lose. What was it?
Could you imagine if that got flexed into like some actual
No.
prime
Yeah,
time?
it just Cam Ward somehow turns up and just like has Jaden Daniels lights it up,
Mm,
and the Jags Travis Hunter takes the world by storm, and Liam Cohen turns him around.
Hmm,
That's the game we get for Sunday Night Football.
yeah.
Stranger things have happened.
that's
Um,
right.
so which one are we taking, Chapman, for
Packers Vikings.
Packers Vikings? Okay,
Yeah.
right. I should have written all these down.
Well,
But
if you
there we
listen to the pod,
yes,
Yeah, Fletch.
yes. Um, I'll forget we did this tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie. The So those are our 18 games. I will actually go back later and listen to them, or I will run them through some sort of AI and tell AI to tell me what the games were. Um, and we will obviously then post them. We'll try and keep remembering them throughout the season. One of the best things I always like to remember is just this is based on now. Things change. Teams are hotter than we could have anticipated. Teams are colder than we could have anticipated. Things will change. But one thing that's always going to be hot is the takes that we have going into the season. It's early days, so this makes the takes even hotter. Chapman, I know that you are pressed for a little bit of time, so I'm just going to run through our Discord entrance for this week, which we only have technically two, but one person has sent them in for the hot takes, and then I will throw to each person in the room then to deliver yours. So, Paul, our good friend over at Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover,
Hey.
Giants to make huge strides forward, but their record won't show it. Does that mean moral victories, basically? We kind of look at their moral victories. Lord, they looked a lot better. And finally, Dolphin season, an absolute car crash. McDaniel fired, maybe 5 wins max. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hot are either of those takes?
The first one's hotter than the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
can't see the Giants making huge anything this season, to be honest.
And I find it funny
ironically,
because they show a video of them beating like the offensive line and being like, "Oh, look how quick their edge rushers are." It's like, yeah, that's against the Giants' offensive line.
Yeah. This is like when the Saints posted their three quarterbacks and said the hottest quarterbacks in the league on their Twitter and immediately faced some
Like it's
backlash.
training camp. It's not even in preseason, like literally, but people overhype it, so that is
Yeah.
funny.
so
Yeah.
the Giants take 1 to 10, how hot?
As in how likely or
How hot is the take?
okay.
Don't quite think it needs thinking this much.
6?
6.
Yeah. 6.
Yeah.
I was
And
gonna say
finally,
5.
the
5.
Dolphins take, how hot is that take?
3.
I was gonna say 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Chapman, what are your hot takes for the NFL 2025 season?
Well, I haven't been cooking that much over the summer, so my takes might, we might be sizzling up a little down the road. So I'm having to think on my feet here. Um, I am going to say that the Denver Broncos are going to win the NFC West, the division. That does not mean the Chiefs will not be in the playoffs. And yes, and I just did that because I love to watch Tom's physical reactions. And he knows how much I love to pick against his beloved quarterback. And yes, if you're asking, normally I am wearing something Falcons, but today I'm supporting Sweetwater Brewery, one of the many fine Atlanta breweries we have in Georgia. So if you ever make it to Georgia, also one you can pick up the Mercedes-Benz Stadium where the Atlanta Falcons play. So that is my hottest take right now. Like I said, I've only been in the kitchen a little bit this summer. We're not quite ready for full cooking mode. Chapman NFL takes and Broncos make big strides with Sean Payton and win the NFC. Sorry,
Okay.
AFC West. That is
Tom, Tom,
that's all I got.
1 to 10, how hot you take? How hot is that take?
A in a million out of 10.
Are we talking Carolina Reaper?
Yeah, yeah, it's like an asteroid coming down to space.
I mean, you've only won 9 divisions in a row. I mean, it's
Yeah, only
time. It's
9 in a row,
time. It's
you know.
time.
So it's no. In all
Okay.
fairness, I am they're the team that scares me the most in the division. Because I still need to see the Chargers put it all together to actually do it. So
Meg, how are you rating Chapman's take there?
Um, I'm gonna give that maybe a 6, I think. I don't
Slightly
think
above
it's
average.
unlikely.
you
Tom's
don't
just
think
left
it's unlikely?
for those on audio, Tom has just left the podcast. He's not coming back. Um,
Hmm.
Meg, what's your hot
Yeah.
take for the 2025 NFL season?
Travis Hunter tanks.
Interesting.
That's it. That's all I got.
I might throw a hot take. I don't know my hot take
Can
yet.
we
I might throw one at you.
can we define takes? Can we
Tank,
define
yeah.
tanks? Sorry, not takes, tanks.
As in, he is nowhere near meeting the expectations that are set.
Are we talking getting cooked on defense? Are we talking just not getting targets on offense?
Both.
Is there a way? I'm just is there a way to quantify this in a number?
I don't think he's going to put up the stats on either side of the ball that people are expecting. I don't think he. I think some people think he's going to walk into that team and do some like miracle cure on the Jags, and unfortunately, that ain't realistic. And I don't. I think very quickly it's going to become. How do I put this without sounding like an absolute horrible person? You walk in to like a shower of shit and you try and be a superstar is only going to work for so long before you're found out, or before you find out that actually there's not that much you can do. And I think mentally that affects that over time, that is going to affect him.
Do you know what? I might throw a hot take in your face in a minute.
I think, wait, so in terms of hot takes, like where are we ranking it? Where are you ranking it, Fletch?
I was gonna say I might. I'm gonna say 3 out of 10. A 3 out of 10. I don't. I watched Travis Hunter for the last 2 years at Colorado. I know what he's capable of. Week in, week out, watching him. Well, I watched him a lot more in the last year, just the year just gone, rather than year before. But I know what he's capable of, and I think he'll struggle a little bit maybe at the start of the season, but he'll figure it out along the way.
Yeah, I
He
think
will.
he'll go in hot, and I think he's going to get colder as the season goes on, because I just think there's only so many times you can, fix what's broken.
So you'll find out just why this is a 3 in a minute. Tom, have you got a hot take that you would like to throw
I've got
to the
one,
fire?
especially for our, Browns fan aficionado who's not on the podcast, but hopefully he'll listen to this part.
See you soon, Tom.
I am gonna say, and this is definitely a hot take, that Shador Sanders is gonna lead the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs.
Ooh, that's hot.
Ooh.
Sweating.
I'm not saying that they're gonna win a division. I don't think they are, but wild card, why not?
Ooh, that's
I
hot.
don't hate it,
I'm giving it an 8.
Mm.
I'm giving it an 8. Colorado dominating the hot takes this year and the rookies. I'm giving it an 8.
Yeah, I'd go with an 8.
I'm not far off a 9. Right. I'm throwing this one in your face here, Meg.
Here we go.
I was hot about Travis Hunter all last year. I wanted Travis Hunter to win the Heisman. I wanted Travis Hunter to be that second overall player once we knew wasn't going to be. It was going to be Cam Ward at number 1 overall. I'm hiring him throughout the season. Make Travis Hunter to be a finalist in both offensive and defensive Rookie of the Year awards.
Wow.
Ooh.
The
Okay.
first player in NFL history to be like,
A finalist in
well,
both,
when I say
both
finalist,
offensive
obviously
and
they
defense.
release the voting numbers going in.
Mm.
He will be top 3 in both voting categories. Whether he wins one, I'm not gonna say, but Travis Hunter will be top 2, top 3 in voting for both offensive and defensive Rookie of the Year.
Well, if you say it like that, then it doesn't sound that unreasonable, but because it's the voting, anyone could vote for whatever. But if you're saying he's actually going to be in the top, like in terms of outside of the voting, like he's going to be
Deserving of that spot. And
yeah,
Well, yeah, I'm not saying, well, I think maybe sometimes the storyline will help, but I don't think the voters, the AP, all those guys who play that, who do the voting for it,
mm,
I don't think they're going to too much vote based on storyline. They have to somewhat go in on, like, there has to be justification for it.
yeah,
So I think those stats are going to show
yeah.
that maybe he doesn't have top 3, top 4, top 5 rookie wide receiver stats. But when you equate the fact that he's going to, he'll play X amount of snaps on defense and offense,
Yeah.
I think they'll weigh up the fact that he's done both and potentially be top 3 in both and maybe even take rookie of the overall rookie of the year.
So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10, but it's because I think he'll be in the running for one, but then not the other. Like I think the likelihood of him being both is highly unlikely, but I could see it being one way or the other. Probably more defensive than offensive, but that's where I would go.
I'm giving that one a 3. Back at you.
it's cold. It's a
Yeah.
cold take. You do
Yep.
realize that that's as good as an agreement with where I'm going with this,
Yep.
I believe. Okay. Any more? Do either of you have any more that you want to throw out there? Another hot take?
I think the Panthers are going to surprise us all this season, have a better season than what we expect.
Oh, I've got a scorching hot take for you, Fletch.
Come on.
Um,
Give it.
in relation to the terrible AFC South,
Yeah.
a team other than the Texans will win the AFC South.
Oh,
Ooh.
I was going to go even
Who?
hotter than that, but I'm just going to stick with that.
Look, don't count it officially towards the take.
Yeah,
But if you want to drop it as just an interesting little tidbit, throw in there. Who are you thinking?
if you say Titans, I'm going to cry.
I was going to say Titans. That was my initial take. It was going to be that the Titans are going to win the
I mean,
AFC.
to be fair, I think the Titans have been massively held back by Will Levis, so I'm
Mm.
not mad about it.
I'm a Cam Ward believer, so
Okay.
I think
Okay.
he'll. And it's not a good division. Let's be
No,
real. So
no, none of them are like stand out, going to be amazing unless CJ Stroud gets out of that slump.
but it's not even on. Yeah, it's CJ Stroud, and he can try and get out of the slump. But like, what? I don't know who is this offensive line. I don't know who it is. Like, I don't. I
Yeah,
couldn't
that's
name
true.
one of the starters. I know Laramie Tunsil went to the Commanders, and now he's got no one.
Mm. Yeah, that's
Could you
fair.
name any of them, Fletch?
Pardon?
Do you know anyone on that offensive
Nope.
line? No.
Make savers.
I'm gonna say AFC South offensive lineman isn't in like my top 10 pieces of NFL knowledge. I'm not gonna lie to you there, mate.
I thought it was
Um,
your mastermind subject. Need to update.
Oh yeah,
what?
I will be representing the AAW network in
Whoop
Yes, you
whoop.
will.
Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover Mastermind Finals.
Let's
Yes,
So
you will.
go.
By the way,
hoping to bring the trophy home.
yes, you will. So that's good teams and great teams cover for the third shout out of the week. So I think that has to now double into a full. That's a full on promotion. Um, Paul send the 50 quid to my bank account. Whenever you're ready. No, it's definitely worth checking out the mastermind thing though, because all three of us took part. It was it was really fun.
Was.
I got my ass absolutely handed to me by Andy Davis, who is just a genius. And if I'm gonna get my ass handed to me on anyone by NFL knowledge, if it's Andy Davis, I can't be mad at it. Um, so it definitely worth checking out. Kind of, I think maybe ruined it that like I lose, Meg loses, and Tom wins their heats.
Yep.
Please do
Yep.
go check it out, and all the other amazing stuff that they do, because they genuinely put out some of the most interesting,
Yeah.
intriguing, different episodes, and they're really unique with them. So I please do go check them out when you get the chance.
By the way, I just looked it up. The only one that I recognize the name of is Kenyon Green. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough.
Um, I feel like I had one more, but
You're gonna have to join the Discord to find out what it is.
yeah. Um, oh, that was it. I don't know how hot this take is. Steelers to have a below 500 record.
I'll give that a 3. I don't think it's that hard of a take if Aaron Rodgers goes there and then the hoodoo finally ends and Mike Tomlin gets fired and the Pittsburgh Steelers actually bottom out and reset as they should have done for the past 10 years. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
fair enough. Right. Well, I think that leaves very little else extra to say other than thank you so very, very much for joining us this week. Please do, should have put this at the start of the episode. Remember to apply after sun cream, everything else while listening to this episode. If you go listen to it back, obviously. I hope it's not too hot. In fact, actually, I do. I hope this is an extremely hot episode because the temperatures are about to drop. So maybe it balances it out. It leaves me without no further ado to thank Ballers Meg, to thank Tom Craft, and to thank Chapman for joining me this week on this week's episode. Thank you all.
Thanks, Fletch.
Cheers, Fletch.
So, and yeah, one last time, if you go down, if you're on YouTube, all the way down there, Tom, you're in the way. So either show everyone where to go or just kind of out of the way. There we go. Thank you. Right down there on the YouTube. I love how everyone actually gets involved in this one. You're just pointing down to
I'm just like
nothingness.
pointing.
But we're all doing it. We all know that there's a common goal in this. So if you go down there, if you're on YouTube, to the description, all the appropriate links to follow the AEW Network, Heard of the Line, my 3 wonderful, wonderful co-hosts this week, and join our Discord, as well as various other things. Might even link good teams and great teams covered down there as well, just because we've mentioned them so many times this week. And we will see you next week for our mini-series, which we're starting, by the way. Again, if you want a bit more information on this, head to the Discord, because I'll start dropping some information as of tomorrow. Heard all that Heatwave.